Okay.
I told you, kind sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen of Hashtag Nation, the Buffalo Bills fall to the Cleveland Browns 19-16 in a very unceremonious fashion.
Very unceremonious. Yeah.
A lot of plays that we're going to talk about tonight were left on the field for the Buffalo Bills as Paul adjusts our little camera there, which is fine.
Aha! Now we're even on Sportscaster.
Now we're
Look
even,
at that.
guys. If you know, we have a lot of the usual suspects. They'll come in. They'll tell us about the audio and all that stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if the audio is a little,
jeez.
little
Microphones. We didn't even put them on.
I got mine on.
I didn't put mine on.
You mute.
All the way down here. There we go.
Please, just. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Hi guys, a lot to talk about here. Trust process. Yes, absolutely, a lot to talk about in the loss today. The Baker incompletion was a fumble.
But wait.
Oh wait.
Before we get going.
Before we get into tonight, we tried. This is for Tim Ellington.
Yeah. We tried to find the beer that he purchased for us. However, it was not possible.
So what we were doing was we have a wonderful Rusty Chain Flying Bison.
Yep.
We support
there
the
we
local
go.
breweries here. And also, here's the craziest part, because today, what just happened downstairs was a microcosm of the Buffalo Bills. And let me just tell you what I was thinking. I got 3 beers for Paul, 3 for myself, and we're going to do this broadcast tonight. I'm carrying them. I dropped one. It seemed like it took 17 hours for this thing to hit the ground in the garage. Boom!
Yeah.
Hits the ground, and that whole time it's going there. It's taking. I'm thinking this is what it's like watching a Bills game every. Boom! There it is.
All right. Well, let's start our topics.
Thank you, Hunter.
Let's start our topics first.
Yes.
So, all right. First up in topics, let's do Baker fumble.
That's
Hauschka.
Baker fumble is a fumble.
And
no, Baker fumble is incomplete pass because that's the stupid wrinkle that they have.
Yeah, well, no, let's talk about that because there's a couple different things that I think are fascinating about the replay rule that kind of gets me a little bit, right? So let's talk about that. The Hauschka missed field goal and Cody Borquest because Spencer nails what I wanted to bring up right on the head. So first off, let's talk about the Baker fumble. So here's the deal, right? That's technically considered a forward pass when a quarterback takes the ball and they toss it forward to a running back or a receiver on a jet or whomever the eligible receiver is. That is technically a forward pass, except when it's not, right? And when is it not a forward pass? When the quarterback gets the ball and tosses it straight up into the air, that's not a forward pass. And what we saw today were 2 Buffalo touchdowns taken off the board after review. 2. Now, mind you, 1 was the Frank Gore touchdown that got called back and Josh scores on the next play.
Yeah,
right?
I thought his knee was down anyway.
Yeah, I agree with the overturn, but that's a touchdown off the board. Yes. Bills end up scoring anyway. And then you get the Jerry touchdown taken off the board because it's not considered a fumble.
Yes.
Now, do you think that was a forward pass, or do you think the action is so common that it's typically a forward pass and that there was actual video evidence to overturn it? Because I've seen things that are way more blatant in review than what looked like to me like a ball that never actually went forward, right? I saw him catch it, toss it straight up in the air, and hands back.
Yeah,
Hunk clears through the zone to catch a ball that wasn't actually ever moving forward. So to me, the action is most quarterbacks take it and shovel it forward. Right, and the action
like this.
Right, and the action is often associated with a forward pass, but I didn't see the video evidence that caused that to be overturned. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys tell me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I didn't see the video evidence to say that was a forward pass. Well, the action is consistent with a forward pass. Yeah. I didn't see the evidence to say that it was.
I think it was. I mean, I think they let it play out just to try to, because all scoring plays are reviewed. A lot of refs are told that now. Listen, if you're unsure about something, let it play through. It was a scoring play, so it was going to get automatically reviewed. You didn't have to put, use a challenge on it. And I mean, it is such a common play that goes on in the NFL right now that you do that, and a lot of guys will just catch it and go. And that seems to be why you run that play, is that if you have a missed handoff, or it's technically a handoff, you know, let's just call it what it is. But they determine it as a pass, because when Josh did that to Isaiah McKenzie, he scored against the Giants, it was a pass, short middle. You know what I mean? They call it short middle pass. Like, okay. So that is the thing that will happen, that will transpire, is why you run that pass. Is if your running back drops it, he drops it. It's an incomplete pass.
Right.
You move on.
Right, but oftentimes it's not tossed straight up into the air for the running back to clear the zone. Normally it's a shovel pass, and that's not really. And we saw them run the shovel pass on in the goal line package. So the Browns ran the shovel pass on the goal line package, and it was, it didn't go anywhere.
One of their 65 goal line plays that they had. Now, what I did, Paul, as I was looking through the stats, because I had it on my phone.
Okay.
So I'll look for it as you go to the Corey Borquist comment.
So a couple comments that are backing up what we saw in YouTube. Jason Crandall says, my problem is that it was his hand placement. They were under the ball. It should have been a fumble. Now, that's an interesting take, that his hands were under it like he was receiving a punt. So that would mean typically that the ball was coming straight down as opposed to going forward. Ball's going forward, you're catching it like this.
Yes.
Right? That's an interesting perspective. Naveed says it's a handoff that if it's dropped, it's incomplete. Elena had something like this against the Giants, which is true. Orion says, so if the ball is thrown for a screen and let's say it hits the receiver in his back behind the line of scrimmage, that wouldn't be called a live ball. It would be if the ball's going backwards, right? So if the ball is going backwards behind the line of scrimmage, it's considered a fumble.
We know all about lateral. What lateral
just
is
clarifying the point from Orion.
If you're repping the only team in New York State, then you know what a forward lateral and a backward lateral is at this point.
Robert Cheery says wants to talk about Levi Wallace. We are definitely going to get to Levi Wallace because he was your leading tackler. You lost a bet.
I lost a bet too.
Sure did.
I thought White was going to be on Landry.
The bet, we still haven't settled. So in the comments section of this live chat,
when it's over, I'm going to be butchered at this point.
No.
But the point was this.
It's not my problem.
Here's the point I wanted to make about the defense.
Right.
And a lot of things have been going on. I mean, Cleveland comes out of the gate, first drive, they score, 2:51 off the clock. Then they have a 7-minute and 13 drive, which they don't score. Second quarter, they have a minute and 50. Then they have a 6.5-minute drive.
Right.
Okay, the Bills come back, and then that's when they missed the field goal. Then you come out in the third quarter, which has always been good to Buffalo.
Yeah, right.
Cleveland had a safety. Then they had the ball for 5 minutes, made a field goal. You get to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Cleveland had it for 126, then had it for 208. The Bills come down and score a touchdown. Now, all of those drives combined, not being able to stop them, the Browns taking very easy plays for themselves, exposing some of the defense, what's been going on. I believe that is a strong reason why that last drive was 3 minutes and 42 seconds. That's one of the reasons they were able to drive down, is because the defense was on the field too long today. And if you look at the total time of possession, Cleveland had the ball for 31 minutes and 46 seconds. I mean, we're going to kind of erase the last drive when they just kneeled down. But that being said, they had the ball longer. And then the way that the Bills are built, I know a lot of people are going to be negative today, but the way that the Bills are built, they have to win the time of possession battle in order to win the game, because they have to keep their defense fresh in how they want to play it. That's one. Two is this. Why'd you go away from the things that were so successful before that last drive from Cleveland?
Yep.
You know, a lot of wise man once said, he goes, the prevent defense prevents you from winning.
Right.
So you can't, the things that made you successful for 3.5 quarters, you abandoned and played off. You can't do that against a team that has this much skill talent on the offense. Now, the other thing you could be upset about is the fact that the Cleveland Browns had 11 turnovers in the previous 3 games coming into today. None today.
Right.
None. You can't win games. Like, they had no turnovers, yet we're only up to be able to put up 19 points. So now the focus of the defense starts to shift over to the offense, which we're going to talk about quite a bit tonight. I just know it.
Sure. So getting back to the comments a little bit, Bills fan 7883, has Hausger made a kick from the right hash his entire career? So you're playing for a game-tying field goal, which McDermott did admit they were playing to tie. Yeah. He admitted in the postgame that he was playing to tie.
You already had the tie. So I think here's what happened.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please go ahead.
You get to the line where you think you're in Hausger's range, and you throw that pass over to John Brown.
Right.
Take a shot deep. It's 3rd and 4. Let's go. We got a timeout left. I don't understand this progression of plays, and maybe you can explain this to me, because I get confused. Because when I'm in a 2-minute scenario, I have 3-4 plays ready.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
3rd and short, 2nd and short, 3rd and long, 2nd and long. Here's what we got to do. By the way, Singletary dropping that first pass was a gift because the clock went around. But that notwithstanding, that's your first down play. You try to run a little thing to try to get Garrett off of you, because Garrett was abusing Deion Dawkins when he was over on that side. That's
Big
one.
time. Big time.
That's your first down play. Second down play, you run, you throw it out to Singletary on the right-hand side because Allen's got to get the ball out of his hands. So now it's 3rd and 4, okay? Allen had already made up his mind, I firmly believe this, to throw it deep because Cole Beasley, you're going to see it on Friday when I break it down, was wide TF
You
open.
actually don't even need to. If you're on Twitter, you can go to the at #sports handle. Mario tweeted out a picture of Cole Beasley standing.
Nobody within 10 yards of him.
There's nobody there.
He throws it to him. Beasley goes down to at least the 20.
Okay.
I'm not even joking.
Okay, so let me clarify a little bit. I'm going to pull up the tweet and I'll show you guys the picture. Of course, I'm going to do it in a not so professional way. I'm just going to go to our actual.
I wish I could put the link in the thing.
Yeah,
You put the link in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead and put the link in the chat. But I don't want to see people. I don't want people to leave the stream for it. So that's my sole concern.
That's a great point. But
where was that tweet? Did you?
It's first. It's on tweets and replies.
Oh,
it's the first one.
Oh, geez. All right.
Picture.
Yeah. All right. So.
I mean, we'll be here, so you guys can check it out. I'll put it in the description. That's what I'll do.
All right. That's fine. I appreciate you doing that.
So go to your next point.
So what I see in that picture that Mario's putting in the chat right now was just the product of Deion Dawkins getting his lunch eaten all day. Like he got his lunch money taken from Myles Garrett all day. And I know Myles Garrett left with only one. Here it is.
The stat line wasn't very huge.
No. Here it is. Yeah, so here's what I see. And again,
Garrett's over there, but he still could have thrown it to him.
Yeah, so here, again, I'm just going to put it up.
This will be very crude.
Yeah, here you go.
We want to apologize for this if we can get the angle of it.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it on that.
Oh, back here it was.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Anyway.
So the fact of the matter is Cole Beasley is at the first down marker. Nobody there. Myles Garrett clears the corner on Deion Dawkins, which was kind of the par for the course all day. Deion got caught trying to cheat a little bit on Garrett, trying to get that initial punch to weed him out. But, here's the thing that got me, right? They're lining up, and I'm looking at them going, man, they're on the right hash mark. And I think Bills fan 7883 is onto a great point here. He'd already missed a field goal from the right hash mark, right?
Yeah.
The extra point, he kicked from the left hash mark, right? So now you're going in. You got a field goal to win the game. You're on the right hash, right? And you throw the ball, a bomb on the right side, right? So Brown catches it, right? Great. But you're telling me that's the best play you got? You're huddling for that? You went into a huddle for that? And I can't even be mad at Brian Dable anymore. Like, I see a lot of people in the chat saying Dable's got to go. And listen, I have no problem if you have pitchforks ready for that one.
Yeah.
But the fact still remains, I don't blame Brian Dable at this point because your head coach said, let's play for a tie. Your head coach said, we're playing to tie. I can't even be mad at Dable anymore because this is a McDermott thing now.
So what excuse do you have for the first 58 minutes then?
I mean,
you talk about a team that is the worst in the NFL in rush defense, and Singletary has 8 carries.
And you throw 41 times.
And he rushed for 5 yards a clip.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so let's go over stats real quick. Devin Singletary, 8 carries for 42 yards, a long of 10, right? Long of 10, 5.3 yards per carry. Frank Gore had 5 carries for 12 yards, 2.4 clip, longest of 4. Patrick DeMarco had 1 carry for 2. Josh Allen, 6 for 28, 2 touchdowns, and just a gut-wrenching fumble. Like, that's got to stop. What is 11 fumbles in 7 games? Like, that's got to stop.
That was a stat, yep.
That's got to stop. That's absurd. Josh Allen was 22 for 41 for 266. No touchdown passes. Only took 1 sack on the day. But you throw 41 times against one of the worst run defenses in the league.
I don't know why. You're outsmarting yourself.
Yeah,
you don't need to. You run the ball, you control the clock, that explosive offense, which has had trouble finding its way, doesn't get to find its way, doesn't get to get in a rhythm.
Yep.
Due to those drives in the first half, they were able to develop some kind of rhythm. Now, it was completely void. If Kitchens lost this game, he was getting fired because those goal line plays.
I totally agree.
You know what? If you're listening to the broadcast, I love James Lofton. Okay. However, if I had to hear one more time, well, you don't really have that many plays for goal line. You don't have. Guys come into camp with 90 plays, 100 plays in the playbook. Number one. Number two, you don't always have to run goal line plays down there. You can run a second and short play, a third and short play.
Right.
I know some of the routes that if you wanted to run that were longer aren't as long anymore, but spread them 5 wide.
Yep.
What happens then? Who knows? Well, how are the Bills going to play you on that?
Yep.
So,
well, Ronald Enix brings up a great point. He said literally no jet sweeps today for the Bills.
one.
I saw one. Yeah. Wasn't it in the fourth quarter?
You activate McKenzie and deactivate Duke Williams.
Yep. Which we really thought was going to be a good matchup. If you want to run the football, you bring in Duke Williams because he's a better pass blocker than Robert Foster. Robert Foster finally makes his first catch on the season.
Which was a dig.
Yeah, which was a dig route.
It was a dig route.
Yep.
I tell you start throwing those dig routes to Foster, everything else will open up. But it really you know what? I've never felt this way about a loss from the Bills, where it kind of it changes your perspective, because as objective as we try to be, Paul, we still try to be positive on how this team is. They're 6-2. They have some things that they're growing pains. They're learning and all that stuff. And then a game like this comes along and completely throws you for a loop. And like, wait, you walk away. A lot of people I think are going to be waking up Monday going, what just happened?
Yeah.
Well, how did the Buffalo Bills lose to the Browns? This is always like when these two teams meet, this is what happens.
Yeah.
These are the types of games that happen.
Right. Well, and I was very honest with my son, who I was watching the game with. When Hauschka missed that field goal, I was like, let me see the hold. This has to be Corey Borquest's fault. I was like, let me see the hold. Hold looked okay, but the kick was even short. Like it was short and to the left. So I thought maybe...
That alters his play calling.
What do you mean?
The guy is 0 for over 50 yards in like the past 2 years or something like that. That was the stat they flashed up. He hasn't made 1 over 50 in 2 years. You're planning for 3, but you don't run the ball. You got a timeout left.
Yeah.
Run the ball up the middle.
Right.
And try to do something.
Right. Well, and that was something that got asked. Chris Brown asked in McDermott's post-game press conference, do you talk to Hauschka during the game? Because maybe Hauschka's like, I do not want to be on the right hash. But if McDermott and Hauschka don't talk, or McDermott and the special teams coordinator, and then special team coordinator and McDermott don't talk, McDermott wouldn't know that, which means Dable doesn't know that, which means you're giving yourself less of a chance. If you're playing for 3, you should at least give your kicker the option of what you want. You've got a timeout. Run the ball. Put it where he wants it. Put it where he wants it.
Yes. Because you have a timeout left. I don't understand it. All right, Organ Dorner comes in. This loss really hurt. Tim Ellington, I'm remembering last year's losses. It's perfectly.
Yeah.
Mike Trotter, Bills will be lucky to finish 9-7 because of the gauntlet they have to run.
Oh, yeah, they do have a nasty gauntlet to run.
Noisy boy. Until we fire Dable, our team is average. Jack Patrick, we need Boucher.
Bobby Boucher.
He would do something in you. Bills fan, you only got 2 wins left on your schedule. This team probably goes 8-8, 9-7. Going to get worse before it gets better.
Ooh.
I almost lost it when I watched Josh miss McKenzie wide open for the touchdown.
I know.
It's something he's been struggling with, and it's almost like we want to believe so much in this kid that we're willing to give him passes, but not hit a deep ball.
Yep.
He's not trusting. This is the biggest thing I took from this game. He doesn't trust what's going on out there is going to work.
Okay, so you think this is an offensive system thing, not an Allen thing?
I think he does not trust it. You're trying to put a square peg in a round hole in Allen, and he's smart enough. I think he's smart enough to learn this system, but he's thinking too much. Just play ball. When you play ball, that one pass, I think it'd be a great thing to put up is when he dropped back and he had protection, he had a perfect pocket, and he threw it to Beasley down like 20 yards downfield.
Yeah,
and he hit him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. First of all, what's Beasley doing 20 yards downfield?
Right.
Can somebody explain it to me?
Wow.
3rd and 3, the 3rd and 3, I saw it in the chat 16 times. The 3rd and 3 play, Beasley's running a post corner, or a post.
Yep.
I'm like, well, excuse me, what did I miss?
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Yep.
Your best short yardage route runner, you think you're going to catch him off guard? I don't understand it. And Allen made some great throws today. Why are you hating Murray? I'm not hating on the kid. I'm just saying I think he's thinking too much, and he's not letting his natural athleticism play through. There's some things that he does really, really well, and there's some things that he doesn't do well.
Right.
When you come up to the line and you already have it in your mind who you're going to throw it to, the one 3rd down play, they had double crossers. It was in the 3rd quarter. They had double crossers going across the middle, which is a common New England staple that Dable brought over. Beasley and Brown were both wide open.
Yep.
Okay, you'll see it Friday. Believe me, I'll show you. He immediately took the drop back and threw it over to Singletary where Mack made the tackle, and it was short of it, and then he had the punt. if you're reading that play, you see Beasley wide bleeping open on the right-hand side. He had already made up in his mind before the snap came, I'm throwing it to Singletary.
Right.
Just like he did the play to Brown on the 3rd and 4, right before they kicked the field goal. He's like, listen, I'm just going to throw it over there. Because Beasley was wide open. If you're reading the field, now you can make the argument, like you said, because Garrett was in his kitchen all day. He didn't see Beasley.
He didn't even bother looking.
But the point is, he was wide open. Why call that play and have that schemed up? Because if it's 3rd and short, 2nd and short, Beasley's my first read.
Yeah, I see
and
that.
the defense knows that.
Yep.
And they still couldn't cover him.
Yep.
So
Recco in Sportscaster says, look at the way the Steelers developed Big Ben. They ran the ball, took pressure off Ben so he could develop. He also said, but this is the reason why Dable's offenses have been always ranked 20th or below. Over in YouTube, Tim Ellington talks about getting an OC who doesn't use crayons. Tom talks, I will continue to say this, Dable is holding this offense back. At this point, I'd rather just miss the playoffs. This is from Jonathan Koch. Just so we're not embarrassed and go one and done again. Kevin Healy, Allen was really frustrated after today's game. Mike Trotter says Allen is a bust. See, I'm not really willing to call anybody a bust, right? So, and kind of here's why. First off, you need to eliminate the variables to make sure that, like, we'll use Lamar Jackson because I think Lamar Jackson's a good example of this, right? Lamar Jackson is an example of a quarterback who they took his skill set and made an offense around it, which is the exact opposite of what they're doing with Josh Allen, right? They're not taking Josh Allen's skill set and using it to develop their offense. They're trying to develop Josh Allen into a pocket quarterback, right? We see Allen, and Allen, what was the play Allen threw behind Brown? It was in the first quarter, I think.
Slant.
Yeah. So Allen throws the ball behind Brown for 3 and out.
Yes.
Right? So the reason that is pockets collapsing. Instead of Allen shifting forward, and I'm sure Mario might even do this on Friday. Yeah. Instead of Allen, shifting forward into the pocket, he takes a wider stance. And when you take a wider stance, his head moves forward, which may made him feel like he was shifting forward in the pocket. But really, the base just got bigger, hips opened up. He throws the ball behind Brown, which is going to happen all day long when you get a wide base. You're going to mistime your passes.
We talked about that.
So instead of Allen manipulating the pocket and stepping up into the pocket, he just got wider in base, and his lower body was out of that throw. He's going to throw it behind him all day long. It is frustrating. It's very, very frustrating.
I think Allen thought Brown was going to sit down on that route.
But here's
tough because he's running a slant. Who sits down on a slant?
Exactly. I love the comment by John Roberts. Run a play action, end a story. Those are Allen's strengths. On play action, Allen sees his targets way quicker and has more time. Dable's blind as a bat. Remember old-fashioned trousers. Paul, are you saying you're not willing to call Dable a bust? No, I think there's enough history to weigh my opinions on Dable. What I'm saying now is I'm less concerned that it's Dable's fault for being Dable and more McDermott's fault for letting Dable be Dable. Right? That's where I am. That's where I am today.
This sounds like a Seinfeld episode.
I know.
You can't yada yada over the best part.
I didn't yada yada.
I mentioned the bisque.
Yeah.
No, but Mario, you can't play action when you're not running the ball. Tom talks.
That's fair. That's
well, they ran play action a little bit today, Big. I think it was just
about 14 times, man.
No. But the style of the play, whatever the play was called, Allen had to turn around and feign like he was giving the ball. But it wasn't really true play action, like a Peyton Manning play action where he actually runs to Edgerrin James and holds the ball out for a half a second and then does all that. Two mentions that could take completely different routes. Because we're in the chat. You guys are doing awesome tonight. Hashtag Nation, thank you. We have our giveaways coming soon with all of our signature helmets that we had. We have 2 different routes that this can go now because I heard 2 different things. I heard Lee Smith and I heard Tyrod 2.0. Now, you could make the argument. The Bills in the last 4 are 2-2, right?
Yeah.
The last 4 games are 2-2.
Yeah.
Throughout those games, Allen has gone 130 passes without throwing a pick. Okay, you're a 500 team and your quarterback doesn't throw any interceptions. Who does that sound like? I hate to bring it up, but it's been brought up it's released 3 times on streams now, and it's a valid point. That's the first talking point that we're going to have. The second talking point is this. I think we're all done with Lee Smith.
Yeah,
I think it's over.
I think we're all frustrated.
He slammed his helmet because he knows he's done.
Yeah.
On the sideline. Oh my God! I want to take a picture of it and just frame it and then put it on Twitter and say, "When you know you've played your last NFL game."
Yeah, that was frustrating, man.
What? Is that dying?
I don't know.
You gotta flip the switch over there, bro.
Do you want to allow? Oh, I don't know what I did.
He's
No.
a mutant.
No. That's still live. We're good.
Allen's playing scared. Dable is running him. Donnie Burke comes in. Well, if he's. I just think he's overthinking things, and he comes up to the line, and he'll look at the line. He'll look at the defense, and he'll say, "All right, I want to go here." His pre-snap reads are saying, "I should go here than here," and then post-snap read, he's not adjusting.
Right.
So that's what's bothering me in the development of him. Now, if you look at Baker, saw some of the plays, he's trusting guys that are covered to make a play.
Right.
And he's taking shots. And he's doing a bunch of other stuff.
I think the route concepts are a little bit simpler in Cleveland than they are in Buffalo.
They're only simplified because you have two animals out there that can make route. They look like they're open all the time.
Yep.
And they're so physical.
That one pass where Landry ends up running the crosser on Wallace. Wallace had no chance to get there.
No.
They had no chance. You can't be mad at Levi Wallace for the pass that Landry caught that got him down to the 3-yard line. That there was no way in God's green earth Wallace was going to close that gap. But what a hell of a catch by Landry.
Oh, it was. I thought another half a step.
Wallace would have, yeah, right. It was close. But Wallace covered a ton.
That's
of ground.
why 9 for 97. Odell Beckham had 5 for 57. Do you think that those are switched, that they switch coverages?
No, Odell.
You think Odell has over 100?
They wanted to force feed Odell, and they tried. And Trey White had 4 pass breakups credited today just from game stats, and that will probably go up.
It should.
Yeah, it had 4 pass breakups. That's a huge number of pass breakups. So Noisy Boy says, Paul, a question for you: what will it take to get Dable fired? Well, and Jay Geo says controversial calls never seem to go our way. As far as Dable specifically, if you're really on the Dable train and you think the only way the Bills win is if he's gone, they drop 2 out of the next 3 before they get to the gauntlet. You really got to start thinking about it, right?
Well, McDermott already got rid of the buffer, which was Dennison. So he's already personally hired an offensive coordinator, and he's been gone.
Yep.
That buffer's gone now.
Yep.
He was responsible for them hiring Dable.
Yep.
They hired Dable. The next year, you hired Dorsey.
Yep.
Who applied for that same job. So how much would really change with Dorsey coming in? I'm so curious about that fact because that's the X factor in this whole thing. You got to admit that, or no. I mean, Nation, you tell me. You got to admit that Allen would regress a little bit because the offense would change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't keep running the same offense. Now, if you're just saying it's sheer play calling and scheme.
You fire the coordinator at this point if the plays are in the book, but they're not getting called, right? If you have faith that the playbook is where it needs to be, but the game isn't being managed to win like that, then you make a change.
Let's vote him in.
Put that on my lawn. Can we put that on my lawn?
Dable needs to be put in a bag with Dawkins and thrown into Lake Erie. Gallery's big change with Dorsey, in my opinion. It would be, it would be a setback for Josh. These comments are flying in now.
Ski bag, like they said, Dawkins is a Jeep with no doors.
They're getting blown off. Dable's here for the rest of the year, like it or not.
I think
they just waited out. True. I mean, because if they went to Pagula and said, listen, this is our 3-4 year plan, they don't really take into account the fans like us in that plan. I mean, they would to try to promote the product and everything that they're trying to do as far as the NFL goes. Mm-hmm. However, if they say, hey, we have a 3-year plan and you're 6-2 in your let's say the second year of your plan, you're 6-2.
Yeah.
Or if he hit the reset button when Dable came aboard, like, listen, all right, let me just get him some weapons. We're in the second year of our 5-year plan, and we're 6-2. We're ahead of schedule. Yet there's a lot of things that need to be that we need to work on. I don't know what's going on after that. I really don't know. Could this team easily be 3-6? Let's answer that question. Because if this team, if you can say,
you haven't led many games.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you can honestly say from this team, the defense has been good, has been exposed in the run, though. Mm-hmm. The offense has shown flares of brilliance driving on teams, albeit horrible teams. If you could easily say that this team could be 3-6 at this point, other than 6-3, then you could say, all right, this loss doesn't hurt.
Right.
Because you could see them losing this game anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're saying that, oh my God, there'd be no way in hell that this team would ever be 3-6 at this point, then you have cause for concern. And everyone should be fired. I just don't like the play calls that are going on. I mean, how long are we going to use the excuse they have a lot of new moving parts on this offense?
Yep, I know.
I don't know how long we're going to make that excuse.
Matt Henry, 92, in Sportscaster. Dable's going to be living in a van down the river soon if this keeps up. There was another comment that I wanted to get to.
Daniel Lampert Carson. Put Mario in for
Hunter
OC,
Smith had a great one. So Hunter Smith said, do you guys think we went for all those fourth downs? Because the Bills went for on fourth down
0 for 2.
or early in the game, right? This was early.
Yep.
So did they go for it on fourth down because they don't trust Hauschka?
Why is he the highest paid kicker?
I mean, whose fault is that?
That's it'd be funny if that's the only bad contract that Bean did. Was like the kicker. I don't understand.
Right?
I don't understand that. It's you're paying this guy this money, he should make everything.
Right.
He should be Greg Zuerlein.
Yeah.
Basically is what we're talking about here.
That's it. Jordan John, how do you not run it down their throats with Singletary averaging 6 yards per carry? We could talk about the offense for a while. I am a little stuck on Levi Wallace, and I want to talk about Levi Wallace just a little bit.
Before we get to Levi real quick.
Yeah.
A lot of these questions that you guys are posing in the chat, number one, we love them. Tom talks. I'm gonna get to that star contract. I don't think you're gonna slip that one on me. A lot of these things that we're talking about with the offense are questions that we've been asking since preseason.
Yeah, that's true.
And you guys have asked them with us, and you guys have asked us, and we've tried to give just suggestions of what they possibly could do, and some areas they can go. We still don't have the answers to what's going on with this ball club.
Right.
Because I don't know why they're calling certain plays. I don't know why he doesn't have plays ready in a 2-minute warning. I don't know why they call timeouts at certain times where you don't need a timeout. Freddie Kitchen called a timeout before the Bills were going to fake run a play.
Yeah.
Like, he should be fired.
Yeah.
Kitchen should not be in there.
No.
I don't know how these guys get to these positions. I really don't understand how that happens. So go ahead, go with Levi Wallace. But I just want to let you guys know, with the offensive side of the ball, we've been asking the same questions to it. And
right.
I don't know what the answers are. Okay, everyone wants Daboll gone. But what is the plan B for that?
Right.
Will Dorsey do a better job?
What does that solve? The huddling with less than a minute left was really troubling to me. You got one play. One play. That's it. This is your chance.
You've driven the ball on them quite a bit that day.
Yeah.
So why not try to drive the ball a little bit more? Have some urgency. You've been in these tight games before. You're playing for 3.
Steve Hampton, I don't ever remember Paul saying we needed to run the ball more.
Kevin Healy.
Funny
Wait,
guy.
so Mario won that bet, right? No, I lost.
No, but he definitely lost that bet.
I thought Trey White was going to cover Landry.
Yep.
Majority of the day. Wallace covered Landry.
Right.
Landry ended up with 997 and 1.
Yep. Tyler Martin, Levi got exposed today against the least threatening parts of the Browns offense. So Kenneth Osborne, Levi got handled all game. So let's talk about Levi Wallace a little bit, right?
All right.
Trey is shutdown city. So are we frustrated with Levi Wallace because Trey is so good?
Because you're comparing him to Trey.
Right. So you two things here, right? One, you're not going to throw at Trey as much as you want to because he's so damn good.
Where'd Trey go to school?
LSU.
Where did Levi?
Alabama.
Well,
I know.
we how that plays
I
out
know. We saw
yesterday.
that yesterday. So
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Trey's so damn good.
Trey played out of his mind. Tim Ellington said Trey was amazing. Absolutely. Trey played out of his damn mind today. Right.
He did.
He elevated. This was a game that I've seen Trey play good. I've never seen him play like this.
Love you, man.
I know.
Love you,
That's
Trey.
it. I know. I've never seen him play like this. He played out of his mind. But think of the game that he's getting up for, right? He's going against Beckham. He's going against Landry, 2 guys he went to school with.
It was personal.
Yeah, this game was personal.
For him,
so,
definitely.
and he played out of his mind. So,
Blair Walsh available. Sorry.
So 2 things here, right? One, are we frustrated with Levi Wallace because we're comparing him to Trey White, who is an elite level corner in this league? 1. And 2, are we frustrated with Levi Wallace because he gets so many targets thrown his way because everybody knows how good Levi Wallace or how good Trey White is. So can we really get frustrated there? You see, here's where I sit with this. And we talked about this in preseason. I wasn't even super sure that Levi Wallace was going to be the starting corner because you went out and got Kevin Johnson and you drafted, Teron, you drafted Teron Johnson, and then you went out and you signed who is the other corner that they said? You went out and signed EJ Gaines before the start of the season. Let's not forget EJ.
Gaines was here.
EJ Gaines was here. They brought in guys to compete with him, and a little bit through attrition, Levi Wallace was left. Right? You lose EJ Gaines to an injury. Kevin Johnson is just perennially hurt. Right, so Levi Wallace is kind of the guy that's always left. At this point. I kind of agree with that.
You get him with Teron Johnson in the slot.
Yeah,
so you have your two.
I agree with that a little bit.
So here's my problem here's my take on what you said. Number one, we're trying to compare a first-round draft pick to an undrafted free agent that was only signed because he probably had familiarity.
I like that. So that's a good point.
That's hard to compare those two guys like that. Number one. Number two, if you're the coach, your best 11 is supposed to play. If he's one of your best 11.
Right.
And you're afraid that this may happen, then you should play somebody over the top. You got to give him some help. Trey doesn't need any. Trey doesn't need any help. Now, you could say this. Did they play such a balanced attack so the scheme should be blamed for what had happened? Okay. We were playing one over the top of Jarvis Landry. We were playing one over the top of Odell. Well, Trey excels in man coverage. What I loved about Trey was that he got called for pass interference on the goal line. Didn't even care. He still played aggressive.
Right.
It really didn't matter to him. So I think we need to take everything that's going on with a grain of salt. This isn't a first-round pick that's there. Now, because of what happened today, does Kevin Johnson get a shot at the corner? And Levi maybe comes inside?
I
Who
think
knows?
Young King brought up an awesome point. It says Levi is good at zone, not man coverage. And tell me every pass you saw thrown against Levi Wallace today was
man
coverage. Right. So
because they were blitzing more to try to get the Baker to mess
exactly. But exactly. So you're setting Levi up to not have a great game against Landry. Like you were kind of setting him up to not have a great game.
But how many games are you going to have guys with the talent of Beckham and Landry? Usually the two is a natural two, not two ones on a team. You know what I mean? So you have a number one corner and you have a number two corner. You have a number one wideout and a number one wideout.
Yep.
So
Yep. Donnybrook says, no, Levi is not getting the job done. Preston Williams used him up. Alshon Jeffrey used him up. Landry used him up. Mike Trotter disagrees that Trey is not a shutdown corner. I don't know.
I mean, 5 for 57 on Beckham.
And it looks bad, but four pass breakups is a huge defensive
Plus,
number.
he let that first one in on Landry.
Yeah.
But that could go to scheme. Listen, they were blitzing more today than I've seen them blitz because they want to generate more pressure to try to stop the run. So what you do is you bring more guys into more gaps. And if they break that first line, they're going to have a big run. But you try to shut it down before it starts. This is the reason why they were blitzing today was we talked about it on Wednesdays because when you talk about Baker being in a 2nd and 4 versus a 2nd and 10, it's like two different quarterbacks. When he's in a 2nd and 10, he has like a 55% completion percentage.
Sure.
When he's in a 2nd and 4, he's 77. So what they try to do is they try to get to him on early downs, blitz him, give him man, press the guys at the line. But Beckham and Landry are so physical, it was so tough to do. But you have to think about it this way: you didn't cause any turnovers. You had a goal line stand, and you still held them to 19 points. That's still amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why McDermott said he wants to average 21 points a game, is because if I know my defense plays as well as they can, barring any turnover, we can win every game.
Yep. Daniel.
You guys scored 21 points.
Daniel Lamprecht Carson. See, I'm not afraid of that hyphen.
I'm terrified of it.
He said Tre'Davious White is the lowest quarterback rating when balls are thrown his way, and that's true. The quarterback rating is like under 25 in balls thrown Trey White's way. That's a crazy number.
John Herring said let Levi and Kevin split reps. I think. I mean, I don't. Here's the only reason why I would have a little hesitation about that is because just like anything else, like a running back or a quarterback, it's a rhythm position. You get in the rhythm of covering a guy and seeing what his routes are and seeing how he maybe shifts his hips or drops his shoulder or goes left or right. You're able to study that while you're on the field and get those little nuances. If you're switching those guys in and out, they're not able to garner those nuances. And I think it would evidently end up hurting them. But I mean, Kevin Johnson, former first-round pick as well.
Yeah, that's right. Big time.
I liked what the Bills were able to do today. I knew they weren't going to contain Chubb. I thought Garrett, he was very disruptive, only having one tackle today.
Yeah.
But you knew that going in. If you know that going in, you have to account for that.
Yep.
Okay. Landry, if you said, listen, if they came in with the defensive game plan is we're going to blitz, I know you can get to that in a second. We're going to blitz, and we're going to sacrifice either Landry or Beckham.
Right. Yep.
Okay, we'll shut down Beckham. We'll let Landry beat us because he only catches short routes. We're really good at getting to the ball. Beckham's the guy that can kill you for 80 any play.
Right.
Maybe they did that. Maybe they said, hey, listen, we're going to try to shut down the run, and we're going to let Levi go. Wallace, do his best you can on him. All right? I don't know.
Ski Bag 18. QB rating for Trey does not matter. He let in 0 goals for the LSU hockey team.
Cut from the same
that's right. Michael Ho says Levi plays well. We just got caught blitzing. Yeah, it's pronounced Lamprecht. Oh, man, no H? Okay, thank you. Lamprecht. Got it.
You should lose
Locked in.
just for that.
Locked in.
Young King, Des Bryant would make a heck of a difference on this offense. Here, let me just ask you this. Okay. Dable to me right now is the guy that cut Michael Jordan in JV basketball. Even if you give him Dez, he still doesn't know what to do with him.
Yeah. Well, and what are you going to do with Dez at this point, right? He's 2 years really removed from playing. I think he's just trying to stay relevant, right? I
have Dez.
Dez, I think he's just trying to stay relevant.
Who would you compare him to that the Bills have right now?
Oh,
Duke?
Duke.
You already have one.
Right.
So what is the difference?
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it.
Is he going to be better? Yeah.
Yeah.
Will he create a buzz? Yeah, he'll create a buzz. But then again, he's going to complain about not getting the ball. I've never heard Duke complain about not getting the ball.
That's kind of what got me a little bit, right? When we saw Foster in there, Kevin Heaney actually text messaged me about the inactives for the game. And I looked at it and I go, okay, well, no TJ Yeldon. We talked about that on the pregame on Saturday. Yes. It was likely Yeldon was going to be inactive. Yeah. You look up and down the inactives, you go, okay, that makes sense. And you go, wait. Duke's inactive? That must mean they're looking to throw the ball against the secondary. I just didn't really understand that. But they certainly didn't move away from that. They wanted to throw the football today. And that's what they were going to do.
41 attempts.
I know, I don't get it. And here's the problem, right? By the time the Bills could go back to running the football, right? They were already behind. So what? They're not going to run the football there. They're not going to run the football there.
You had time to. You had a timeout.
You had time to establish. You had time to build the run. And they walked past every opportunity.
I would take a draw on that second down play. Mm-hmm. I would have taken a draw on third.
Third. Well, hold on. Let's roll back a little bit.
Third and four.
Yeah, in the 3rd and 4, you take the draw, you get it to the hash that Hauschka wants, right? We've talked about this already. You're playing to tie. You at least ask your kicker where he wants it. But I'm still not absolving Cody Borquest from holding the football the way that Hauschka likes. I can't absolve him from that.
Did he hold it?
Yeah, Borquest is a holder.
No, but did he hold it right? He didn't hold it right?
He spun it, but that kick was so short, it makes me think it was tilted a little bit.
I think that it's almost like you're a golfer, Paul. If you crack,
it's all about launch angle, baby.
If you crack one over the green that you just tried to chip up, and then the next hole you're in the same spot, you're going to try to take a little off of it. I think you just try to take a little off of it. No? Okay, I'm sorry.
If you guys have ever played golf with Mario, you would understand how funny it is that he tries to make golf references. Mario is the antithesis of what happens when you put Thor, you take his hammer away and you give him a driver. That's it. It's an angry round of golf.
That's pretty good.
It is angry. We're 180 away. He's like, give me my 9-iron. Like, shut up.
Hey, we have video footage over the summer.
You did hit it over the green.
On here. I hit over.
You did hit it over the green with a 9-iron on an uphill lie. It was actually kind of impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I should have had Duke Old Fashioned Chargers. Is Vontae Davis available? We can get him for half price.
Yeah, all right, that's it. He's only got to play out the season. Maybe he's in
now.
now.
Was an assistant coach and tight end coach with New England. Yes, Tom talks. The system that he's trying to implement is a spinoff of what the New England Patriots have mastered, and it's a boring system, nickel and dime football. It only opens itself up to big plays once you nickel and dime them enough. That's why a lot of these plays that the New England Patriots are able to hit deep are usually in the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, stuff like that. So,
the Mutant Moose. Do you think we draft a corner? McDermott's system seems to kind of rotate corners, right? So if you look at kind of McDermott's history, Levi Wallace is just one of multiple corners that they've brought in.
Well, we should go with.
Can they draft a corner in this upcoming season? Sure, but I mean, let's be real. If there's a pass rusher there, they're taking the pass rusher.
They're going to take the pass rusher.
They're going to take the pass rusher.
I think if I can go back in the Wayback Machine for a lot of the Bills fans don't know this, Whaley never drafted linebackers high.
Right.
Because he was able to scout and find guys that were good.
Yep, turn and burn. He could turn and burn linebackers.
He turned and burn linebackers. That's what he used to do. He used to be so great at scouting linebackers, getting them in the 4th, 5th round. That's the mentality that this coaching staff has to cornerbacks. So, listen, I'm going to get I'm going to sign my 2 safeties that I want, and I'm going to draft one in Trey White. Okay, the other one we'll turn and burn guys. Whatever we need to do.
Right.
I wouldn't be against that, but if they made a 1st round pick a corner,
it tells me they're not re-signing Trey. Tells me they're not re-signing Trey.
Oh my God.
There's
there's
a whole level of conversation I don't want to go into.
On that conversation.
I don't want to even go into that.
I'm not even going into that.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing that.
The fact still remains, and keep this in the back of your head, guys, because nobody's talked about this yet, but we're just going to mention it now. We do not know how this organization wants to approach retaining players. We don't know. They've re-signed Jerry on a 2-year extension. Okay, that's fine. We still have Trey coming up. We have Milano coming up. We have Dawkins coming up. We've got we've got a lot of guys coming up on contract extensions. So we don't know how they want to retain talent. So that's a totally separate conversation. But the fact is we just don't know what they want to do in that respect. Side note, there's 111 of you watching. For those of you who haven't already, make sure you hit that like button for us over on Facebook. Hey, yes. Orion says Paul and Mario as OCs and we would never lose.
You'd probably lose a few.
Yeah, lose a couple. You'd lose a couple.
I can tell you this, there would be no unsightly timeouts because I would have 2 or 3 plays ready. I know that.
Yeah.
Trey's worth $22 million a year. That's a lot of cap space. He's worth it. Naveed comes in. Yeah, I mean, if Xavier Howard is making what he's making down in Miami, and a lot of times teams will do that. If you want to look back, you want to go back just a little bit about when the 49ers signed, and it was a very favorable contract, but nobody thought so at the time. When they signed Kaepernick, they signed him for like $100 million. Who's in their division? Russell Wilson coming up on a deal. So if you want to get a guy out of the division, that's one way to do it. You sign a guy that you think that you want to keep there for a amount of time. And if your team that you're playing against can't afford that guy that they have, then they get rid of him. That's what happens. That's what the Buffalo Bills declined to pay Gilmore.
Yep.
New England picks him right up.
Yep. Ernest Dietz makes an awesome point. Difference comparing New England and the Bills. Difference is Josh McDaniels is calling plays for New England. The Falcons kept a similar offense under Kyle Shanahan after he left, but they couldn't run it. And they couldn't keep him either. Dable is coattail coaching.
He is.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Yeah, it's not his system. He's trying to do something that he's seen before, right?
Because he was a tight ends coach.
It's like getting in the car to drive when you've only ever sat passenger. But maybe you did drive 4 or 5 times and you didn't make it real far. It
wasn't good.
It didn't go well.
You didn't know how to parallel park. You didn't know how to do anything else. You just knew. And that's fine. I mean, I understand with it because there will be times because my brother, thank you guys for watching the Friday Film Room with Mike. He called me today and he goes, is this going to be a regular thing now? Because I sent him like 7 or 8 compliments that people gave him.
Yeah, that worked out really well. The Film Room Friday was great.
It was so much fun.
Worked out great.
So no, the thing about it was he said, is that going to be? He's an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, so I watched Alabama games with him. I saw a lot of similar concepts for the Bills run that when Dable was in Alabama that they ran there. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of what he's trying to run. He's trying to take things that he got. You know what I mean? He's trying to get like I like this. He's like he's at Thanksgiving with a lot of these offensive concepts that go on because. And it's just not working because you're pulling from too many different systems that don't coincide. Right. And you're trying to just mesh it into one, and it's not working.
Well, I think the Thanksgiving reference is a funny one, right? So you're building your plate, and people are passing you stuff like some corn, some stuffing, some mashed potatoes, and then let me get that gravy, just and then you look at your plate and you're like, damn, I forgot the turkey. You're just like, ah, damn, I forgot the most important thing in football.
Run the ball.
Run the damn ball. That's right. You run the damn ball.
Split play calling duty with Dorsey and Dable.
Like we do it. Robert. Yeah, Robert, I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. And here's something I think is fascinating. You guys tell me in the chat whether this makes sense or not. Last year, prior to the quarterback carousel that happened in Buffalo, Dable was in the box, right? He hasn't been in the box since...
Derek Anderson.
Derek Anderson, right. So it would have been Anderson. That's where Dable wants to be. So if Dable's job is on the line, do you think he says, you know what? Maybe I'll see things better from the box. That's what I wanted to be in the first place. If his job is really on the line, do we see him go to the box first? I think it's a fascinating argument.
It's a fascinating argument. However, I think that they would just cut his mic out and let Dorsey call it from the sideline. Who knows? Dorsey could be in the box.
Yeah.
I don't know where Dorsey is on game day.
He's on the sidelines, by the way.
He is. He's
John
talking
Herring
to-
says, I miss Greg Roman. I don't.
Oh my God!
I
It was
don't.
funny. Like you made a thing about Cody Tice that it said Donnybrook goes, yeah, Dable 0%, Dorsey 100%.
Kevin Haley, you play to win the game. Snarl, ever since we took that jarring cheap shot and he got hurt, it's all been the same.
Dable probably likes Thanksgiving a lot.
He does. I saw somebody in here earlier say that, it was over in Sportscaster. Let me give credit where credit is due. Rico says in Sportscaster that fat guys make the best. Fat guys make the best defensive coordinators, not offensive coordinators.
Whoa, Tim Ellington, thank you, sir.
Whoa, what happened?
Any growler you
Whoa,
choose from 12
hey,
dates,
hey.
it's super close to Lockport. Just get directly from the brewery. Yes.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim Ellington.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we got the Rusty Chain Vienna style beer, the 5.25.
Yep.
Paul's going to be doing cartwheels outside of my house.
Tom Galati hates Jarvis Landry. There's been many comments I've had to approve that involve Jarvis Landry.
It, though. He's not spamming it.
No,
and I understand it because every time I think about Landry, I get mad too. I just don't think
just a tasteful sprinkle. That's it. Just a tasty.
I don't like you.
Yeah, that's it. Just remember, I don't like this guy.
If you want to run the ball, you should miss Greg Roman. Yeah, I don't like Allen running the ball.
Yep. That's true.
He does so well with them just straight athletic quarterbacks. Roman goes so well.
The Allen quarterback run today where he fumbled. I loved what he saw. Right,
Yes.
He saw the C's part. He saw the linebacker drift out. They left one linebacker in the middle. He drifts out. He's like, "I'm good. Let's go." I loved what he saw. The problem is that he just can't hold on to a football, man.
No, he can't hold on to a football. But, Paul, since you don't even watch hashtag, I'm going to give this to you now. This is what we did.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. So what
He says I don't watch our stuff. I watch our stuff.
He really does. He's a maniac. So what we decided to break down was when they go 5 wide. I said, listen. When the Bills go 5 wide, here's what the Cleveland Browns did against the Ravens. Are they just going to vacate the middle and let everybody go?
Yeah,
and that's what they did.
That's what they did.
That's what they did against. And then Allen was like, listen, if they vacate this middle, which they've been known to do, I'm just going to run up the gut, and that's what he did. But God, for the love of God, Feliciano is the most amazingly talented man in the.
I know. I expect to see John Feliciano on American Ninja Warrior in 3 years, right?
I made a comment on Twitter. I was like, you could tell he saved a kid from falling at some point in his life.
Yep.
Like, oh, I got you. All right.
That
was amazing.
Robert Cheery says, problem with firing Dable is you can't change offensive schemes mid-season, so Wisenhunt would not work, in my opinion, until after the season ends. People are talking about other options. But let's not forget, Baltimore Ravens won a Super Bowl changing their offensive coordinator before the playoffs.
They went to Jim Caldwell.
Yep.
From...
Who cares?
Anyway, but it was in December. It was like after
it was late. It was late.
Game 13.
Yeah.
So they ended up going... Here's the craziest part. They ended up going 1-2 with the new OC. So it seemed like it didn't work. And then Ray Lewis says, I'm going to retire. And the whole team gets refocused and said, that could work. You know what? We go we fired Dable after week 13 or after the 13th game.
Yep.
They go 1-2 with Dorsey. Everyone thinks the sky's falling. They make the playoffs.
Yep.
And then Lorenzo Alexander says, hey guys, I'm retiring.
Yeah.
And then they go on an amazing run.
Maybe that's it. Tom Talks says they only ran one screen all day. That wasn't even really a screen. It was, but they had one guard pull out. Like it wasn't really a screen.
No. Mike Trotter needs to be muted for 5 minutes.
Uh-oh. What did he say? What did he say? I don't see him.
At the bottom.
Feliciano Swing was best play of the year? Oh. Bring JP Lossman back. Mike, that's how you get put in timeout. We don't want to put anybody in timeout. This is Steve Hampton. Trust the process. Oh, we lost. Fire everybody.
Fix my jacket. This is actually a hockey hoodie that I got from China.
It's amazing what you could talk a crackhead out of for $20.
Listen. First off, that cab was huge.
Joe from Believers Talk. Screenplay where Allen threw it at Singletary's feet.
Oh yeah. That was It was snuffed out because they weren't bringing too much pressure at that point. I mean, they were getting pressure, but here's the craziest part. Here's what you got to know, okay? If they're generating pressure with their front four and they're spying the running back with a linebacker, Mac was on Singletary all day. Let's just put it that way. The rookie versus rookie. Listen, they were like, listen, wherever he goes, you go, okay? If he wipes or if he goes to the bathroom, you wipe it for him. So what they were saying was Mac was going with Singletary all day. The reason why that didn't work is because they kept bringing pressure with 4 all day. They were bringing pressure with 4, Cleveland. Occasionally they would blitz, but that screen really only works really, really well if you blitz.
Right.
If you do it against a blitz. If it works against a blitz. But Mac was right there. That's why Allen had to throw it into the dirt.
Yep.
This is why I don't understand why more teams don't run a fake screen to one side than another screen to the other side. Like, I'm begging for Allen to catch it in the shotgun, drift back.
Who are you gonna have? What are you talking about? A fake screen to one side and a screen to the other side. What nonsense are you talking about?
Here's what I'm talking.
Who's gonna pick up the middle? You're gonna have Mitch Morris out there with
Can I wait? This is
like Jesus.
He won't
on
even
the
let
cross,
me finish.
trying to block
The
people. Are you
freaking counter.
crazy?
You catch the ball. You ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right. You're Singletary. You're to my right. All right. I got Mackenzie over there. All right.
Okay.
Should I make it more authentic? Let me make it more authentic. I catch the ball in the backfield. I fake a screen to Mackenzie going like this. Boom. I 360 pivot. I come back around, and by that time, guys are let in. I dump it over to Mackenzie.
If you think that this line can give Allen that amount of time, then you are crazy.
You've been wearing my helmet.
I haven't been wearing your helmet.
You better not.
Does it smell of awesome? Because that's the only way that you would be able to tell
Smells
that
like
I wear your
whiskey
helmet.
and shame.
Oh.
My point is this. Throw something else that isn't directly coverable.
Yep.
Do something.
So, quick question on
Mario, you're special key.
yeah. So, okay. I see Christian Wade being brought up. Christian Wade's not eligible to be activated.
No, he's not.
So we're gonna. Yeah, that's it. And the weird thing is he's eligible to come back to the Bills next season. He can be put on the practice squad again, but he doesn't count as the 11th man. He counts as a regular practice squad. He can be signed by any team. So,
May I have the opener, sir?
You may have the opener.
I'm very thirsty.
So, I think today you saw Buffalo try and get the ball pushed down the field deep. They really did try today. They did. They took a couple shots. I didn't think any of those passes were within 5 yards of the receiver.
No, they have to be calculated shots.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about just throwing downfield to throw downfield. This isn't high school where you run one play and you throw it deep to try to get them out of the box. That doesn't work.
Right.
You have to hit that play for that to work, and it doesn't work. So, I am for the overall play call. Like, now, if you watch the last couple film rooms or you haven't, I've been very timid with my criticisms of Dable. I haven't because I know that Josh is missing guys, and if he hits those guys, it paints a completely different narrative of what goes on in the game, and I understand that. However, I don't think he's completely being put in a position to succeed by Dable.
Yeah.
And as a coordinator, you have to do that. You have to give him the best possible chance to be successful on any given play.
Right.
You've got to give him a chance to say, listen, all right, here's what we're going to call on this play, but here's the backup, here's the other play. Because they always give 2 plays to the quarterback. Listen. But he needs to give him the freedom to check out of that play.
Right.
Check out of a bad play if he sees something different on the field that Dable doesn't see. Because Dable can't see everything. He's eventually going to have to give the reins to Allen. And at this point, he's not trusting Allen. Allen's not trusting what he's giving him. So what do you have? You have an offense that barely scores 20 points a game. And
So
I don't understand that.
Let's talk about that real quick, right? So you have a playoff caliber defense.
Really, though?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they stop when they have to stop people.
Okay, so
They give up 19 points with they give up 12 points with up to like a minute and a half left.
Right.
Not bad. I mean, you could say what you want about
Not
Cleveland.
bad.
You could say what you want about Cleveland, no. What?
Cleveland's. If you gave Buffalo Cleveland's schedule, Buffalo would be 2-6.
Okay, go ahead.
That's just the way I see it. You guys could disagree with
It
me.
is pretty tough.
Yeah, Cleveland's schedule was pretty crazy. So here's where I sit with this, right? You have a playoff caliber defense. You have a varsity level offense right now. It's not that they haven't tried to bring in pieces. They've remade the entire offense, right? But there's some complexities about this defense that don't translate well. We saw Allen. Allen doesn't throw guys who make a reception and are able to turn and run because every pass is late. Why is every pass late? Every pass is late because the routes are changing in stride and he's not seeing the same thing as the receivers. He's waiting for the receivers to make their commitment before he's throwing the football. I want you to think about this right now. Think about this game. How many passes of the 22 that were caught was the player not immediately wrapped up? And exclude Singletary.
Well, there were.
I saw Beasley drag four guys 10 yards downfield.
There were 12 completions to wide receivers, 5 to tight end, 5 to running backs.
Yep.
So I think the running backs were the only guys that had the most room, other than Knox. I think Knox was the only guy that actually had
a little bit. Yeah,
steps.
he had a little bit of space.
Everyone else caught it, was immediately tackled,
covered up,
went down.
Right. And when you watch those plays, so when you go back and watch the game later this week,
Which I will.
yeah. So when you go back and watch the game later this week, what you're going to see is ball should be here. Wait, ball arrives. Right. So you're going to see everything is just a second late. Everything is just a second late, and that's the offense. That's the offense.
I'm just so confused, Paul.
Zero yak, man. Donnie Brooks said it. There's zero yak in this offense.
Daniel Garber said Knox got some yak.
Yeah.
So next year we have the 49ers and Chiefs divisions. So we're playing AFC West and NFC West next year. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just pray on that one. Yeah, we'll just pray.
Knox graduated from the Zay Jones School of Catching. He should have had a touchdown in that corner. The one.
Yeah, he should have. That
was not good.
Yeah, he definitely should have. All right. One more thing that I want to talk about as far as this
Jeff
game.
said stop focusing on the quarterback. I was trying to find it. Jeff Herring.
Yeah?
Stop focusing on the quarterback so much. I didn't know what I was. I know I was doing that.
You often focus on the quarterback.
That's
where you play, so it's fine.
That's where I play.
There was one more thing that I want to talk about as far as the organization goes. I do not have a receding hairline. Guys, I swear to God, I have hair. I have plenty of hair. None of it's receding.
Oh my God, look at you. You look like Smalls. Look at this.
Shouldn't have done that.
This should have been a fisherman hat.
Shouldn't have done that. Well,
that is phenomenal.
We all make mistakes, everybody. We all make mistakes.
Evan Anderson,
he
won the bet.
I won.
Paul won the bet, so I have to do some.
Yeah.
He's going to make me do some stupid stuff this week, probably.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Shave the hair,
look,
beard,
everybody, every single person in the chat, you're killing me, Smalls. Dave Walker, is Paul old enough for this ride? I love you guys. I love you guys. So
it's phenomenal.
Man, I had a really great point. It's gone now.
You did.
You don't know what I was going to talk about. Oh, I remember. Tremaine Edmunds aggravated me to absolutely no end today.
Cutback lane.
Okay, a little bit there,
yes.
Right? So I see Tremaine get washed out a lot, right? He's getting washed out, but here's why. Tremaine is, and somebody had mentioned this on a comment on the Friday Film Room, and I commented back and kind of gave some explanation behind some of the criticism towards Tremaine Edmunds. So let me explain a little bit, right? And then you tell me if I'm wrong, and you guys in Hashtag Nation, you let us know what you think.
Yeah.
So Tremaine Edmunds, I believe, is out of position. They drafted a freak athlete and put him in middle, right? Are you okay?
No, I love hearing this.
So I really feel like Tremaine is out of position. Mario and I do agree with this, but this was not something we ever talked about. This was something that through conversation, we realized that we saw this the same way.
Okay.
So Tremaine played outside in college. Now you're asking him to come inside. And I want you to look at the things that Tremaine doesn't do well right now, and then ask yourself, if he were outside, would those still be weaknesses, right? So if you change his position, would those still be weaknesses? Tremaine gets a little caught up in the wash on guards and on interior linemen. He gets a little washed out because he doesn't understand angle and he doesn't understand body leverage yet. He gets overcommitted, right?
Okay.
All right. If you put him outside, you saw how effective he can be with that blitz today around a tackle for that safety.
He was such an actor too.
He was boom there. But the difference is when you're asking Tremaine to blitz right now, you're asking him to blitz a gap. You're asking him to blitz the A gap.
It's tough for him to get in-
It's tough for him to get in there because
He's a
oftentimes
monster, though.
he gets tall when he tries to go through those gaps.
6'5", yeah, that's tough.
Well, no, but I'm saying he goes into the gap tall, right?
Gotcha.
So he's losing leverage. But when you ask him to go around the edge, he's got great bend around the edge, right? So if you're going to ask him to blitz on the outside, he shouldn't be playing middle linebacker.
Well, Robert
right?
Sheary said, do you think Milano would be a better middle?
I do think, even though Milano didn't play middle in college either.
No.
Milano was an outside.
No, it's funny, too, because you're talking about if you want to talk about from the point of being a Sean McDermott defense, Sean McDermott had a defense down at Carolina. Who's his middle linebacker?
Well, I mean, come on.
Luke Kuechly. Where'd he go to college?
Boston College.
Okay, where'd Milano go to college?
Boston College, yeah.
I'm just trying to say.
I know.
No, my point is that Milano played, he was a hybrid, yeah.
Yeah,
Ernest
he
Diaz, he said he was kind of a hybrid. But here's the thing. You're not playing a conventional 4-3.
No,
You're
not.
playing a lot of nickel where Milano and Edmunds have to patrol a much bigger space. Now, because of the speed and because of the athleticism of Milano and Edmunds dropping in coverage, that's why you're able to sacrifice a linebacker for a corner.
Right.
And up until this point, they've been okay.
Living in that right.
They've
Living
been,
in that world, right.
I'll use your word, they've been fine playing there and stopping the run. I'm saying, I'm talking about against the pass. They're pretty good. They're pretty good at getting out the edges and getting in the hook to curl route. But against the run, that's why we haven't really talked about it. If you have a traditional 4-3, the run's done.
Yeah,
you're gonna have
it's tough to run.
Zoe, Edmunds, and Milano all across to stop the run.
Yeah,
you sacrifice a little bit of the pass. Well, you take Zoe out of there, you bring in a corner. Now you only have 2 linebackers for 5 linemen and maybe a tight end or a lead back. So that's what's happening. Why these runs are getting broken open. Yeah. If they decide to go back to a conventional 4-3, as many things as Zoe is for you.
I don't think they have the linebacker depth to play a conventional.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's tough about it. But if they want to go traditional linebacker depth, I don't want to say this and be like really mean about it, but the only guy who's ever played up in the box with any kind of consistency when Milano went down was Poyer. Do you think Coleman and Hyde would do fine back there, and you put Poyer in the box with them too?
I don't like that.
I love it.
I don't like.
I love the athleticism because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because you could blitz Poyer off the corner too.
Well, Michael Hill says Zoe should be in the middle. Zoe has the experience to play middle linebacker.
He's at the speed at this point to play in the middle.
Exactly, and that's another thing that I think is
Oh
so
my God,
attractive.
Zoe in the middle between. Oh, that would be so phenomenal.
I think that's not a bad idea, but okay.
You sacrifice a corner. Is my point.
Understand, right? Yeah. Understand that there's a couple things that end up happening when if you were to put Zoe in the middle tomorrow, right? What does that mean? That means that the coaching staff has to admit that they might have been a little wrong about trying to force Tremaine Edmunds into the middle. Here's what they saw. They saw, let's take a athletic freak and let's move it into the middle because he'll be able to get everywhere. Teams won't be able to run away from him. Here's the problem with if you take Tremaine Edmunds and you put him on the weak side, right? Teams can run away from him. They want to avoid him. They can avoid him if they want. So if you put him in the middle,
so you plan your defense accordingly. People got to plan around Myles Garrett, don't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They ran away from Myles all day today. That was
sure
the problem.
did.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. They probably went into the brass and they were like, listen, we got this kid. We want to draft this kid. We want to trade up for him. Is he a middle linebacker? No, he's an outside linebacker. He's a freak. He's 6'5", 245. He's amazing. How old is he? 19. We have time to work with him.
No, but let's not forget when the Bills drafted Edmunds, they had already drafted Reggie Ragland.
That was previous regime, though.
It was previous regime, and look what happened.
Ragland is starting for the Chiefs, who can't stop a run either.
Right. Right. 6-1.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. That's what happens.
Pedro Martinez, you guys don't have a little concern about Josh Allen being the only quarterback in the NFL that doesn't throw a deep pass because he can't. Not so much he can't. We talked about that a little bit earlier, though. He hasn't completed any. He hasn't completed any deep balls. And it is very concerning because, number one, it has to be drawn up. Number two, it has to be set up. Yep. That's the biggest key.
Well, Grendel says Dable doesn't draw up long passes.
But he doesn't draw them up because he doesn't set them up. You want to draw. Yeah. Now, here's the deal. Here's how it works. It's a simple game. You try to call a lot of underneath routes to get guys to creep in. You try to run the ball to get guys to creep in. Once you do that, you can run play action and go one-on-one, Foster or Brown.
Yeah.
But you got to hit him.
Yep.
McKenzie was open.
Yep.
Today. He didn't hit him.
Nope.
And it's tougher to hit those deep balls when, A, you're not calling them frequently. B, a lot of the deep routes that they run, who's running them? Knox. Knox is running just to run off a guy,
Knox
so you can run
wide
underneath.
open on a couple clearing routes today.
But they're clear. That's the reason they're called clearing routes, is because they're not meant to be thrown to. They're not meant to be thrown to. They're meant to open something out for somebody underneath. But when the guys underneath aren't open and the guy deep is open, what are you gonna do?
There was something else that I wanted.
Oh,
to
Evan
say.
Anderson, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe to send Allen to live with Brady for during the off season. But here's the thing: people don't understand.
Allen's already begging for calls from the ref, like Brady does.
Well, no, here's the thing. And here's another thing that I want to bring up. With Allen, with Brady and Allen. Brady in the beginning of his career was helped a lot by the defense. He's still helped by the defense, but he was helped more in the beginning of his career. He didn't have eye-popping stats. He just won games. He was trying to learn the EP system. It took him a good 5 years before he ended up throwing for 50 touchdowns. That's because he had the greatest, arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time with Randy Moss. He threw for 50 touchdowns. But it took him 5 years to get the system, and many people consider him the greatest quarterback of all time.
Right.
So, that being said, Allen's in his second year of this system with a guy who is a knockoff of the guy that created it. You know what I mean? So, it's not that he's really failing at the system. He just hasn't been in it long enough.
Let's see here. There was a couple more that I wanted.
Rice is better, Hunter Smith. I'll take that argument.
Ernest Eat says, made the point earlier, Dable played safety in college and started coaching on defense. He doesn't understand how to set that stuff up.
He played safety? When?
I'm just saying.
Youth football?
If Ernest is right about that,
oh my God.
If he's right about that, it's only because safety is where you put the kid that can't chase anybody down.
Do you want a job? That's some great investigative work right there. That's phenomenal.
Tom Galati says, Higgins being interviewed on the scoreboard. What happened on the touchdown? Higgins juked the defender out of his shoes. Higgins and Baker. Higgins was Baker's go-to guy last year. He was the go-to guy. So the fact that Higgins was open there that was Baker's go-to.
Wayback machine.
Yep.
Hashtag nation. Remember you?
Yep.
You wanted him.
I did.
You wanted him.
I did. Eric Steining. Brian Urlacher was an athletic freak, played safety in college. Put him in the middle, and it was magic. Give him time. Vision difference there. So I know that there's a comparison between Urlacher and Edmunds because they both never played middle linebacker before getting the
whole scope of the defense.
NFL. Right. A safety is going to be able to see that a little bit deeper, and that's why Milano would likely be a better fit at middle than Edmunds, because Edmunds has only seen one half of the field on the outside. And to be perfectly honest with you, Edmunds coming out of college, one of the gripes about him was he didn't have great vision. So then you put him in the middle, and this is kind of where we are. But I think if you play safety, it's a little bit easier to step closer to the line than it is to be from outside and then have to go.
Well, if you're an outside linebacker, and the majority of the time the way Edmunds was, he had to rush quite a bit. He was rushing the passer. That's all he needed to know. That's all his assignment was. If you're a safety, you got to know what the 10 guys in front of you are doing as well. So you have that more, not to say he's more cerebral. I'm just trying to say is that the mindset of a safety is a lot different than an outside linebacker that rushes the quarterback half the time. So you need to okay, he's going here, he's going here. Okay. So that's what'll happen a lot.
The
mutant moose. You think Oliver is putting in the work to get better? I think he's just too light at this point. I think guys are just
with that.
Muscling him out.
They played him a lot early too, so I think it's not a bad thing to give him a little.
Corey
bit of a
Lugan
break.
did good.
He did.
I think he did.
He did good. He did.
And I'm saying that from a guy from a team that gave up 100 yards rushing. But I think when the times when he was in there, they were doubling him, not Star. How about that?
I mean, look at the film. Richard Greenwood says, "Where was Croft?" The tight ends all day were just kind of gone. Except if your name wasn't Dawson Knox, you weren't getting a look today.
No. Urlacher's a finely tuned athletic machine.
Oliver has to put a little bit more weight on, or he could stay at this weight and play defensive end because again, you're losing Shaq Lawson next offseason.
Is that guaranteed though?
What? That you're losing Shaq?
You think you're losing Shaq?
He's only playing 30% of the snaps.
I mean, he's fresh for any other team, but I don't know where he'd go. Where would he go?
You're
Oakland?
not re-signing him.
Cleveland, play with Cleveland Farrell?
You're not re-signing him, I don't think.
We need Lee Smith. Oh my God, Lee Smith. I'm done with Lee Smith. I think we're done.
Michael Hill, anybody seen Adam Oliver? I saw his face on a milk carton.
Oh, wow. Truck reviewer.
No, hold on, Doyle Fry. I totally disagree with you guys on Edmunds. Our defensive line is making massive mistakes, and I think that's what I think the team agrees with you, right? So the Bills, I don't think see a problem at linebacker, because if they saw a problem at linebacker, they wouldn't keep signing defensive tackles. The team agrees with you, right? I think that's important to call out. The team agrees with where you think, Doyle. That I agree with you. The team believes the same thing you believe. I believe that your linebackers need to clean up the dirty work from the tackles. My perspective on that is just different. We just see that differently. It's not that we're in total disagreement. We see the same problem. We just see different solutions. The team is agreeing with you because they kept bringing in defensive tackles.
Yeah.
So the team agrees with you.
It's weird. I just want to go back to the defense though for a second, though, because like they're not playing a traditional conventional defense.
Yeah,
they are a 4-3 set. However, they're only playing two linebackers.
They're playing a base nickel. They really are playing base nickel.
They really play base, which stresses Milano and Edmunds too much. If they put another linebacker in there, you know how much easier their lives would be?
I know.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I can't believe it took me this long to figure it out. It's crazy.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I just mentioned it, and then we had a comment from my buddy Dan. He has a channel called Gears and Gadgets.
Oh, yeah.
Just hit a milestone. He hit 10,000K
Woo!
followers or subs. So congratulations, Dan, on that. Good buddy of mine I played softball against quite a bit back in the day.
I would love to see you run on a softball field.
I didn't have to. When you hit over the fence, you don't got to.
You don't have to run when you fly up to the second baseman either.
True story. They used to put a shift on for me because I could never go oppo. It was bad. But yeah, go check out his station. Check out his channel. It's an awesome. Oh my God, yes.
You can't go oppo with slow pitch?
No, I can't. I pull everything. Including the cord on this channel, because we're almost done.
You have the patience of a rabid jackal.
You once said I have all of the compromising ability of Hitler.
That's when we had like 12 subscribers. Did that ever make it to air? Doesn't matter.
Mario throws a knuckleball. All right, guys. We want to thank you for joining us for the post game tonight. Big news coming out of #Nation as well. We are going to be going to podcast form. Enough of you guys were calling for it.
Yeah,
we're going to end up doing it. We're going to have everything. I'm going to get all of that stuff done, hopefully by this week. Those of you that received wristbands or didn't receive wristbands, please make sure that you hit us up on htagsports@gmail.com.
Yeah, we're getting some emails that people haven't gotten them yet. So if you didn't, we'll just resend them. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, we'll just resend them for you guys. I still got bags of those things.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. If you didn't get them yet, please let us know via email, not in the chat. So please email us at htagsports.
So we'll get them for that.
I'll resend them. It's no big deal.
But that being said, we have our giveaway that's coming up. A lot of new exciting news that's coming up for the signatures.
Yep.
We're gonna be doing something.
We'll cut a video to explain how to enter.
Yeah, the charitable event that we're doing in conjunction with a couple other partners. So it's gonna be pretty awesome. Plus, I got a video coming out sometime this week about being a Bills fan, and you guys are not gonna want to miss that. So
it's gonna be this week?
Yeah, it's gonna be this week.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
cool.
try to get it done this week. I got about 35 seconds of it done. I want to make sure it's good. I want to make sure it's good for everybody. So that's
Oh, Pedro calls me out. Paul, why is it that you never wear Bills gear? I actually really don't own a lot of Bills gear.
It's weird. It's weird that he doesn't own Bills.
Here's the deal, right?
It helps him to be more objective.
Like I wore a Shane Falco jersey to the autograph signing when we got all the autograph gear for the giveaway, right? Because I think like I want to always wear gear that is like universally acceptable, right? And Bills gear isn't always universally acceptable.
All right.
Evan, I'm not wearing a Brady jersey under this hoodie.
Trek reviewer. He says, you guys can use Twitch at all? Yeah, I'm still working my way through the Twitch application. It's kind of more for, the applications that I've seen for Twitch are more for gaming. So I'm trying to work my way through it. But we are actually on Twitch. Sometimes when we go live on our streams, we will go on Twitch. So that's another application that we have as well. So thank you for doing that. Evan, great call.
You guys are brutal. They're saying I'm a Patriots fan.
Well, you were defending Dable. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be here Wednesday for our breakdown. And then I'll have you, my brother will join me again Friday for the Friday film room, but we'll talk more about that. So you guys enjoy your evening. Bills are 6-3. They're still in the driver's seat. We'll see what happens.
All right. Later, guys.